President Bola Tinubu has called on his cabinet members to prioritize commitment to principles that drive results and positively impact the country's development. He also urged them to adopt a forward-looking approach and actively combat corruption. The president gave the charge at the opening of the cabinet retreat for ministers, presidential aides, permanent secretaries and top government functionaries, with the theme emphasizing the need to rebuild the economy and instill hope. President Tinubu reaffirmed his confidence in the democratic process and announced the country's readiness for business, promising to remove obstacles to economic growth.
Well, Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs, Aliyu Audu, joins us now to discuss the expectations from the 2023 Presidential Cabinet Retreat. Thank you so much for joining us here on Newsday.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, of course. Now, we understand that, of course, the expectations must be high regarding this presidential cabinet retreat. But part of it is also KPIs being defined and ministers signing a performance bond. Can you tell us more about what to expect from this retreat?
Yes, I mean, time and time again, I'd like to remind us why we marketed and voted for President Bola Tinubu. Because as Nigerians, we understand that there's got to be changes as to how this country is managed. And like rightly, as you would expect, having the right man in charge, he has started on the right note. The policies given so far have addressed the critical issues that have held us back over the years. And the steps he's taken has shown, I mean, his travels abroad has confirmed that international communities have full confidence in him. We have investors visiting and promising to bring in the funds, and, Nigeria is open to business, like he likes to say at each of those fora. Then the next thing is to set the agenda for the government, set the body language, get everybody to understand what the vision is. I mean, he's not new to this. When he was in charge of Lagos, he had a mid-term to long-term plan. He had about 25 years plan for Lagos. We are 24 years into it now. We can look back and see what that has, meant, not just for his immediate government, not for his 4 years, not for his 8 years. No state, no country is going to develop, within 4 to 8 years. But we've got to have a long-term plan to which, irrespective of the government that comes on board, we look at the plan and know that this plan is headed somewhere. I mean, situation and challenges might make us have tweak here and there, but there will be, that call direction, that government has for a midterm and long term, and that's exactly what he has brought to the national table. And he's with this retreat, he's getting every member of the organization to understand the vision, align with the vision, so that everyone is pulling or pushing in the right direction. And we know what are expected of us. There are going to be metrics. There will be KPIs. There will be evaluation quarterly. And the fact that you are there as a minister, as a special advisor, as a special assistant, in whatever capacity you are serving, you know you are going to be evaluated and you have to perform. And by this, it's all about renewing the hope of the average Nigerian, who are the real owners of the sovereignty upon which the government derives its power and authority.
Right. Thank you so much for that. We know, of course, there's a huge conversation around the 8-point agenda, with the theme being delivering on renewed hope. Now, as a general public, what are the metrics that people outside of governance can look forward to experiencing or witnessing to know that certain milestones are being reached?
All right. Okay, I'll address that from two sides. For those that have been appointed at the end of this 3 days, presidential cabinet retreat, we would have those agreements. It will be there, and I'm sure it will be available as sort of information to the public. Then, as Nigerians generally, I mean, there are areas we have always talked about: the quality of life. I mean, we have way too many people living below the poverty line. We need to drive that up. We need to start seeing people get jobs. We need to start seeing reduction in brain drain. We need to start seeing, we need to have more lights at home, in offices, in business. We need to have, all our citizens, our assets need to be secured. These are areas, I mean, when the improvement starts coming in, it will be clear for all to see, and we will see that we all agree and feel that we are going in the direction we ought to be.
Okay, now based on what will be discussed during this retreat, just wondering what the timeline for implementation might be, seeing that the quarterly assessment of performance of the 48 ministers is scheduled to hold in January.
Yes, that's it. I mean, between now and January, we don't expect any agency, any department, any ministry to be where they are currently. So you should be able to give a 3-month appraisal of what you've done. And I think that's right enough. That shows that the frequency of that, puts you on your toes and ensure you deliver on those bonds that you have signed and are going to be measured by.
Now, of course, we know the president means business. We've seen the quote, perform or be sacked. What's the mood amongst the cabinet and with those attending the retreat with regards to their commitment to ensuring that they don't fail? Are there any indications of rolls out of plans and roadmaps from any of the ministries?
I mean, the president didn't win presidential election because he's the richest or he's the finest. He won on track record. And it means that everyone in his cabinet knows that he has zero tolerance for failure. He does not believe in it. So you have to pull your weight or you be taken out of where you are and get someone who is ready to do the job to come take it. That is is known to everyone. And at the retreat today, I mean, it's positive. The energy is right. The energy is positive, and it's clear that everybody knows that this man means business, and you don't want to be caught napping.
Okay, we hear you on that one. Now, would you consider making these evaluations, these quarterly evaluations, would you consider making them public for the sake of inclusivity and transparency for the Nigerian people?
Now, this is I mean, like I said earlier, the people owns the sovereignty that gives power to government. The very essence of governance is to ensure, the security and welfare of the people. And I am sure if there are no information that could be, of any risk to national security, why not? This government is committed to empowering Nigerians, and the first step of empowerment is information. So be sure that it's going to be made available.
Right now, what are the benchmarks that we're using in order to mark the success of each of the sectors following this engagement?
I don't know at the moment. Ms. Hadiza Bala, the special advisor to the president on policy, I mean, we would probably be in a better position to talk on that. But I mean, I'm sure by the end of this 3 days retreat, we would have all of that available, and we'll have it to share with the public.
Well, from the information that you have, is there more pressure on certain ministers or ministries than others based on the situation that we have on ground in the country at the moment? No. Every unit is important. You see, the problem is it is not a subset of the society that is challenged. It's the entire society, is the universal set. So it's fair pressure on everyone. Everybody needs to come to the table and play his or her part. Those in government, those outside government, in the media. I mean, we need to know that collectively we have to succeed as a nation, and everyone's got to play his own role in ensuring that. And it doesn't mean one person is more important or no. Your role is as important as everybody else's role, and there is no special pressure on anyone, and everybody is expected to, work at the rate that we need, considering the urgency of time at hand.
Absolutely. It is time for governance. Thank you so much to the Special Advisor on Public Affairs. That's Aliyu Audu. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate this.